They're bound to lose one at some point. But this one stunk. Connor Bedard's debut in Toronto. Did he end up having any points at all? No, he did not. But the Leafs lose 4-1 to the Chicago Blackhawks at Scotiabank Arena. And if you were looking at Luke Fox's Twitter before the game, you see that Chicago's goaltender, Arvid Soderblom, is a career .213-2 with an .891 save percentage. You know what that usually means. 55 save shutout, 50 save shutout, standing on his head left and right. It's what you expect. Well, he allowed 1 goal on 37 shots and beats the Leafs 4-1. That's just the way it goes. But the glaring issue again is the defensive play of the Leafs. Joseph Woll got the net, and I know I might be a little bit of a biased Joe Woll fan, but I thought he looked a lot better than Ilya Samsonov. He just looks so much more confident, so much more quiet in the net. Now let's break down these goals, shall we? Mackenzie Entwistle scores, and that was what? Midway through early on in the second period. So there's no score after 1 period of play. Shots on goal were 9-7 in favor of Chicago, but I thought the Leafs had some really good opportunities. In the second period, Entwistle wins the battle in front of the net, and a pass comes from down below the goal line, and he buries it past Joseph Woll, and it's a 1-0 game. Then a really nice backhand feed from Gio from his own end to Willie Nylander, who does a nice little move to get around a defender, and then cut to the middle of the ice, but then just leave the puck. For John Tavares, he's cutting to the middle of the ice from the other side, and he rips it top cheese and Soderblom to tie the game at 1. That was at 5:14 of the second period from Willie Nylander and Giordano. And the Leafs, just like that with JT's first goal of the season, have tied the game. But then in a 3-minute span, the defensive lapses for the Toronto Maple Leafs just were a painful watch. Somehow, Morgan Rielly, Mitch Marner, and Mark Giordano do not see leaking Corey Perry behind the defense in a great pass from, who was that? Vlasic, and not the Vlasic we all know and love from San Jose. Beautiful feed right to the tape of Corey Perry. He's on a breakaway and he beats Joseph Woll. It was low blocker. And now you're down 2-1. You just can't let that happen 5-on-5. You can't lose a man like that, especially 3 guys. Well, more or less Mitch, who's playing D because Morgan Rielly pinched up in the play. And Gio, that just can't happen. That really cannot happen. Then less than 3 minutes after that, they have the power play. And one of the least impressive defensemen I've seen so far this season for the Leafs has been Jake McCabe. I talked about him, I think it was in the Montreal game, where I said he's dropping to try and block the shot right in front of his goaltender, which to his knees made no sense. And on this play, Andreas Athanasiou is cutting through the middle of the ice. Timothy Liljegren's like right in front of him. Jake McCabe slides over till he's, about 5 feet right beside the guy? And then a nice little sauce feed from Athanasiou right to the tape of Tyler Johnson, who's streaking down where Jake McCabe should be, and he beat Joseph Woll. I just don't understand what Jake McCabe was thinking there. Timothy Liljegren did not need help there. You didn't need to come over there on the rush. And he comes over, leaves Tyler Johnson, and you get buried for it. You're down 3-1 at that point. And to that point, we saw that the goaltender had been playing pretty well, so a 3-1 deficit looked kind of tough. And in the third period, a couple disallowed goals from both teams, but then Taylor Radish scores an empty netter there with about 6 seconds left to make it a 4-1 Chicago lead, and that's all she wrote. Honestly, I thought the Leafs overall played a pretty good game, but those defensive lapses in like that 3-minute span in the second period cause goals. And usually you're like, well, that's only a couple small things. Look, one led to a breakaway, and the other one led to a short breakaway. He was just outside the slot when he got the puck on his own with the goalie. It just can't happen. Both are on the rush. It's just, that cannot happen. Now, I'm not going to overreact. It's 3 games into the season. The Leafs have their first loss of the year. They're 2-1. Who cares? I'm not going to say who cares, but I'm not going to overreact. I'm here to break down this game, and that's what I saw. Shots and goal for the periods. They outshot the Leafs 13-12 in the second period. Leafs outshot them 18-9 in the third period again. Soderblom stood on his head there in the third period, made 18 consecutive saves in the third period alone to secure the win. Shots on goal were 37-31 in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but doesn't matter. It's what goes in the net that counts. They were 1 for 4 in the power play. Leafs were 0 for 4 in the power play. Stats-wise, Joseph Woll, 4 goals on 31. Wait, hold on. That Taylor Raddysh goal was not an empty netter? Oh, okay. You can tell I was kind of checked out at that point. So technically 4 goals and 31 shots for Joseph Woll, unfortunately. But if you look at the game overall, I thought he looked better than Elias Samsonov. Just the quiet nature. The saves that he was supposed to make, he made those saves. And he made a few really good saves as well, except the goals he did allow were basically breakaways that shouldn't have happened. So I think he deserves the net again. I don't think he will get it, though. I think Samsonov will be back in the cage because you don't want to just say, well, you allowed 4 goals today, Joseph Woll. I understand that, Samsonov allowed 4 in his last game and 5 in the first game, which is ugly. The Leafs allowed 4 today. So you probably go back to Samsonov for the next game, which is Thursday against the Panthers in Florida. It's a 7 o'clock puck drop there. And kind of see how he bounces back after getting the day off today, but we'll see. There's really no key players in the game today, right? Obviously, JT had the 1 goal, Gio had the assist, Nylander had an assist, but was a -2 as well. Riley was -2, Matthews -2, Klingberg -2, Marner -2. It didn't look great. It wasn't a great one for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but hey, it is what it is. You bounce back, you move on to the next one. We all know what we're waiting for. It's after game 8. It's game 83, right? So, one game at a time, though. Like I mentioned, Thursday is the next contest for the Toronto Maple Leafs as they are in Florida. They start hitting the road finally. Take on the Panthers. Then on Saturday, take on the Lightning. Then after that, do they come back home? After that, no, they go to Washington, take on the Capitals. Then they're in Dallas. Holy smokes. Hold on. Are we still going? In Nashville. When is the next home game? Trying to find Tuesday, October, so Halloween against the Los Angeles Kings. That's the next home game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hit the road now, fellas, and get some wins. All right, so you know what, guys, that is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and not the game today, but you know what, it was an entertaining game, but that 3-minute span just killed it for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff is down below. So follow up there if you're not done so already. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that great stuff. And I'll talk to you guys Raptors edition, I believe tomorrow night as they're in Chicago taking on the Bulls at the United Center for game 3 of 4 of the preseason schedule. And as for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're back in action, like we said, on Thursday. I think it's Thursday night as they are in Florida taking on the Panthers. First time we've seen them since they knocked us out of the playoffs there last year. 7 o'clock puck drop there. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And of course, not this game today. We'll talk to you guys then.